One day at work, at the school, something happened that made me feel insecure about the way that I look. I had this incident that happened that made me feel insecure about the way that I look. I was walking around the school early one morning. The kids hadn't really arrived yet. They're starting to arrive in dribs and drabs. But they haven't come out to play. It's very early in the morning, right? And I'm walking around doing like this risk assessment, checking, is all the ground all good? Yeah, that's all sweet. Yeah, the playground's all safe, etc., etc. And I look over, had this thing happen that made me feel insecure about the way that I look. I look over and I see a guy sitting by the playground, and he doesn't look like a parent. He looks like maybe he's been sleeping rough and maybe he's a bit disorientated. And I realise I'm going to have to ask this guy to leave because the kids are about to come out onto this playground. And that's a bit of an awkward interaction to have. So I'm feeling a bit nervous about it. I'm walking over and I'm thinking, could be a bit awkward. But I'm also thinking, as I walk towards him, I'm also thinking, I'm capable of having this conversation. It's Wednesday morning. I'm in my most professional mode. I'm about to look after kids. I'm professional Lewis. I can have a conversation like this. It's not Saturday night, 2 pingers deep, Lewis. It's Wednesday morning. About to look after kids, Lewis. I can have a conversation like this. And that's what I'm thinking to myself as I walk towards him. I'm a professional. I get to about 20 metres from him. He looks up, he sees me, takes me in for a second, and then he yells out. He says this, he goes, "Yes, it is payday, and yes, you can have a cigarette." That's the vibe I give off when I'm at work. What have you got, man? I'll take anything. I am desperate. You got a bong? But then, after that happened, I analysed why he yelled that out. I overanalyzed that. I do that with a lot of things. I was like, why? What was it about my appearance that made him yell that out at that time? I was thinking, I've got a bit of a mullet. I was like, maybe that had something to do with it. People have connotations about mullets. I'm going to get rid of this mullet. I don't really feel right about having a mullet. It's a weird thing, but I don't really feel like I've earned the right to have a mullet.
No, you haven't.
Thank you. I mean, you did just reiterate the thing that I just said before that, but still, good input. Anytime you agree with a joke, don't laugh. Just say, yeah, that's true, I agree with that. I'd like to minimise the laughter and up the good point. That's absolutely right. That's the reaction I'm looking for every time I tell a joke. I don't feel like I've earned the right to have a mullet. I grew up middle class. When I was younger, I feel like mullets were more of a working class thing. They were more of a working class thing. I feel like they've been bastardised by a different class of people. And now everyone just has them. They're trendy. People are rocking them. I feel a bit uncomfortable about it. Like, people are always talking about cultural appropriation. No one really talks about class appropriation. But go to Fitzroy. Rich people are dressing up like they're poor. Have you noticed that? They love it. It's the trendy fashion. That's what they wear now. Poor people are going into op shops like, fuck, everything's gone. They're sold out. It's cool to look like that. It's happened so quickly as well. Like, a while ago, I would go into a pub, there's 4 or more people with mullets, I'd be like, this could be the wrong pub. I go into a pub now, there's 4 or more people with mullets, I'm like, I bet this is also a record store or something like that. I bet they make kombucha out the back. That's how quickly that's changed. I feel sorry for someone who's missed that transition. Like, imagine Jono. Jono's been in jail for 15 years, he just got out, and everything's changed so much. He walks out, everything's so different now. Maybe he goes to his local pub in Brunswick that he used to drink at before it was gentrified. He's walking around and everything's changed. He goes out into the smokers area, but then he sees a guy with a mullet, a beard, neck tats, a fucking Harley Davidson t-shirt, ripped jeans, and second-hand Doc Martens, and he thinks to himself, this is one of my people. I know what they look like. So he walks over to him, he smacks him on the back. He goes, hey, brother, how you going? What's your name? What's your story? And the guy goes, my name's Lachlan. I went to Xavier College. If you ever touch me again, my dad will sue you. You junky piece of shit. Jono's like, whoa, this is pretty full on. Everything's changed so much. Maybe I should just go home and watch a movie. Where's the nearest video easy? And then he goes home, he's probably feeling sad about it. He probably goes to bed, still feeling sad. Wakes up the next morning, probably still feeling quite sad, bit nostalgic possibly. He probably thinks to himself, you know what, I'm going to go to my old school. I'm going to go sit in my old school and reflect on the good old days before I went to jail. So he does that. He goes down to his old school and he sits down by the playground. He's having a pensive moment, minding his own business. He sees another guy with a mullet and a beard walking towards him. He thinks to himself, you know what, this time I'm going to get on the front foot. I'm going to say something nice to him before he has the chance to ridicule me. So he yells out. He goes, yeah, hey mate, it is payday. You can have a cigarette if you'd like a cigarette. And then he gets criticised for not having eco-friendly cigarette filters on him. Like, fuck, how was he to know?